Welcome back to the Ben Mulroney Show. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, I don't want to be accused of burying the lead, and so I'm going to read a letter that was sent to us here at the Ben Mulroney Show, portions of it to you. It will shock you. It should shock you. And then we're going to take a step back and ask a few questions. So there is an organization in Peterborough, Ontario, called the Elizabeth Fry Society. And it is a Canadian nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting women, girls, and gender diverse individuals who are involved in or at risk of becoming involved in the criminal justice system. Not for nothing, there are many chapters of the Elizabeth Fry Society around the country. And they sent out an open letter to their supporters regarding International Overdose Awareness Day. Here is the part of the letter that you need to hear. Participants in the event need to be aware that this is not an event where we promote treatment or recovery options. This is not an event where we promote treatment or recovery options, as the focus is on honoring and dignifying those we have lost. It is about how we as a community can become more aware of substance use, harm reduction methods for safer substance use, and of resources to cope with grief and loss. For that reason, I ask that while you may make information surrounding treatment and recovery available, should someone ask, please do not promote or make visible any programs that are focused on substance use cessation. So, to be clear, a not-for-profit that has received in Peterborough alone over $1 million over the past 4 years of federal funding, which means your tax dollars, on Overdose Awareness Day. Their mission, their values are that we are to teach, talk about how to safely consume drugs so that you don't overdose, and to remember those we lost to overdose. But under no circumstance should we offer a pathway to those who are in the throes of addiction, a pathway off of drugs. Do you see why that's a problem? And do you see why it's offensive that your tax dollars and my tax dollars went to this chapter? And let me ask you a question. If over $1 million over 4 years went to the chapter in Peterborough, how much did the Toronto chapter get? How much did the Windsor chapter get? How much did the Calgary and Vancouver chapters get? This is where the problem is, because, and here's where we want to take the conversation next. Fundamentally, this is a big business. There is a lot of money, a lot of tax dollars that are used directly from government. Toronto spent about 33 grand on branded stickers for the kits, and 166,000 of them. Just to let people know, because they were so proud of their involvement, they wanted everybody, including the addicts, to know who to thank. And so we know that that's how much the stickers cost. We have no idea what the paraphernalia cost. I find that a little rich, given the fact that you and I are on the hook for paying for it. And then yesterday we talked about Casey House, because that's where you've got those drug what are they called, the machines where you can just get all the kits that you need. And by the way, I'd like to state Casey House does a lot of great work in their community, but that doesn't mean that everything Casey House does should be given a pass. They received $11.8 million in provincial funding in 2024, and $10.9 million was given out in salaries and benefits. So almost every single penny that came in from the feds went to people running Casey House. The gray zone of addiction is an issue. Like, addiction treatment is a growing industry. Some are legitimate, some aren't. But, we were having a conversation before the show, and it's we were looking and comparing what we've been talking about for the past couple of days to the sort of the worst bad actor in the history of bad actors as it relates to the opioid epidemic, the people who caused the opioid epidemic, Purdue Pharma, the makers of OxyContin. What did they do? What did they do that was so bad that made us all hate them and want to see them all burn in a fiery pit in hell? They aggressively marketed opioids. They normalized opioids. They downplayed the risk. They made it easier for people to get. Tell me how that's different than what a lot of these government officials are doing, as well as some of the people who are working for not-for-profits who are beneficiaries of government funds. Tell me how it's different, where Purdue Pharma knew that the drugs were killing people, but they downplayed the impact. They made it easier for people to get them. How are we as the city of Toronto doing anything differently? We are downplaying, normalizing the fact that that this addiction is happening. We're trying to destigmatize addiction. Why the hell would we destigmatize addiction? Why the hell would we do that? It is not something to aspire to. And if somebody's in the throes of it, we shouldn't make them feel like this is where they should be forever. It is nonsense. Right? And minimizing the negative impacts, just like Purdue Pharma did. Remember when I showed you that cartoon, how you talk to kids about drug paraphernalia, and this group was urging you to compare a used syringe on the ground to a Tim's cup? Remember that? Tell me how I'm wrong, because this is where we are. I believe we're at a fork in the road. Fork in the road, inflection point, call it what you will. But there is enough information out there, and we are going to keep bringing it to your attention as much as we can. There is something going on. There is an agenda that we have not been made aware of. We, the people footing the bill, we, the people living in the neighborhoods where this scourge is pouring into our streets, making them less safe, making our kids feel less safe, taking something away from us as taxpayers, as citizens, as empathetic Torontonians who want to help our fellow Torontonian. There is an agenda at play. I don't know who's running it. I don't know what the end goal is, but we are on the outside looking in, and I think we at the Ben Mulroney Show are doing our best to bring a little sunlight into this conversation, because for far too long there are people who have been calling the shots and taking us down a really, really bad path. And I think at some point soon we are going to have to. I think what's going to have to happen is an election. I think in October of next year, every single person in this city is going to have to be upset about this. They're going to have to be upset about the choices that have been made and the villainization of anybody who took issue with this aggressive pro-drug agenda by the powers that be at City Hall. I want to go back to this, guys. I have to read this one more time. For that reason, I ask, while you may make information surrounding treatment and recovery available should someone ask, please do not promote or make visible any programs that are focused on substance use cessation. It doesn't exist on Overdose Prevention Day. Or is it Overdose? Is that the name of it? Overdose Awareness Day. Yeah, we want you to be aware of it. But God forbid that as part of that Awareness Day, we have programs. We let you know about programs that your loved one who might be in the throes of addiction could avail themselves of to get off of drugs. No. Because if they get off of drugs, they're no longer in danger of an overdose. And today is all about overdoses. So it's either stay on drugs in the best possible way or die trying. $1.2 million in federal funds over 4 years was given to this group. This is their perspective on the drug crisis that we as a country are experiencing right now. I hope that as we bring this information to you, it hits you as hard as it hits me. This is a crisis happening in real time, and it is preventable because it is happening due to decisions that are being made by people. We need to bring this to the fore, and we need to stop them dead in their tracks. Thanks so much for watching the show. Now, if you enjoyed what you saw, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode of The Ben Mulroney Show.